Hi, it's Anne-Louise Sterry. Welcome back to the 4th chapter of Santa's Moonbeam. I know just where we left off again. Timothy, the chief elf, was walking down the path between all Santa's workshops. We were following him, my sister, the dog, my brother, and I, wondering what workshop we would get to see next. We were trotting behind him. He seemed to walk so fast. Kept us warm, though, chattering to each other. Where do you think we're going to go? What do you think we're going to do? This time, we walked a little further. And as we were walking, we were hearing this noise, kind of like a pig, maybe it sounded like to me. It was kind of like, We didn't know what it was, and we were kind of a little scared at first. And I said, Timothy, what's that noise we're hearing? That, He said, children, that's the reindeer. If you look over there, and there we looked, and there was a big barn over there, that's where Santa's reindeer live. Oh, we thought we might get to go see the reindeer, but no, that's not where we went. We turned the other direction and came up to another little workshop. This workshop was covered in snow. It seemed more snow than the other ones, and there were still the little twinkle lights. And as we walked closer, there was a smell, well, I couldn't quite put my finger on it, but when Timothy knocked on the door and it was opened by a little elf dressed in a kind of a whitish, pale pinkish outfit, he said, hello children, my name is Ginger. I knew just what that smell was. It was a smell of ginger snaps, the kind my mother made. Ah, it smelled so good. I was hungry again, and as we all tumbled inside the shop, Ginger held out a plate of ginger cookies. We all grabbed one and shoved it in our mouths, munching away as we chattered, well, where are we? Because there was nothing along the walls of this shop, but right in the middle there was a big sleigh, kind of like Santa's sleigh. Ginger and Timothy smiled. Well, children, said Ginger, this is the snow shop. The snow shop? We couldn't imagine what that was. Well, you see the sleigh here? Come on through the back. And we went through that special back door again, and there, in this room, there were sleds, there were toboggans, there were skis. We didn't know how to ski. There were hills made out of snow. There was a snow fort. We knew how to build those. We played in those all the time. And then there was this big package that said igloo making kit on the side. And Ginger said, you children can learn how to do all kinds of things in the snow or just play. And the first thing we wanted to do was go over to that fort and have a snowball fight. The dog was running back and forth, barking and barking excitedly, and I got behind the wall, and my brother got on the other side of the wall, and my little sister came with me, and we started making snowballs and throwing them at each other, and Ginger and Timothy joined in. And the funniest thing was, my brother threw one and hit me right in the face. I opened my mouth to lick off the snow, and it tasted like marshmallows. I picked up the snow and took a taste. That didn't taste like marshmallows. But the next snowball my brother threw at me landed on my shoulder, and I took a taste of that. That tasted like marshmallows. It was amazing. We were having so much fun throwing snowballs everywhere. And then I wanted to wash my brother's face in snow. Isn't that an awful thing? We used to do that to each other. And so I went over and picked up a big glob of snow, and as I put it to his face, he stuck out his tongue and said, this is delicious. He didn't care that I was washing his face in marshmallow-tasting snow. By the time we finished having that snowball fight, we decided we want to go sledding down the hill. We went sledding at home a lot, and there was a fabulous one of those sleds with the red flyer, had the red handlebars. We didn't have any of those, and we were excited to try one. It was a great big long one. And Ginger pulled us up that snow hill, and the three of us got on sitting up straight. My brother in front this time with his legs on the steering wheels of the sled, and whoosh, down the hill we went, at the speed of light, I think, crashing into a big snowbank at the bottom and falling off and licking our faces with that delicious marshmallow flavor. We did that over and over again. We couldn't stop. It was so much fun. Every time we started down the hill, it seemed like we were going faster and faster, and we went further and further. Well, by the time we finally got tired of that, we decided we wanted to build that igloo. We didn't really want to go skiing. We'd never been skiing before, but the igloo seemed like a good thing to do. So we ran over to that big box that said igloo making kit. And we said, Ginger, can we make this igloo? Well, he said, of course you can, children. And before we could turn around, the covering had come off that box, and there were these stacks and stacks of what looked like ice rectangles, but they were made of sugar. Oh boy, this was so much fun. And we said, well, how are we going to glue the sugar cubes together? And a big pot appeared, and in that pot was some kind of icing that tasted like marshmallow again. You knew it was going to be that. And we started slathering the marshmallow icing on stacks of sugar cubes and made this amazing igloo. When we got to the top where it had to join, we weren't sure how we could make that happen, because this igloo was big enough for the three of us to get into with the dog. And Ginger and Timothy helped us glue those sugar cubes together so they would make the top of the igloo with a little hole in it for the smoke to go out in case we had a fire. And then we all got inside the igloo and just started giggling and laughing and licking the walls to taste those sugar cubes. Ooh, it was delicious. And there was no one there to tell us we couldn't have any more. That was almost the best, the best part. I don't think we ever wanted to leave our sugar cube igloo. We wanted to just keep licking those walls. We talked to each other. We said, gosh, we could go to sleep and wake up and have sugar cubes for breakfast and just keep licking. Wonder how long we could live here without anything else. And then we could go outside and get the marshmallow icing, and then we could make snow melt and have that for our water. And we thought this would be a fabulous life. As we stretched out there with the dog between us, Timothy finally came to call us. Children, come out from the igloo. And we crawled out. Remember, we were in our bathrobes and slippers, and we were covered with bits of sugar cubes and marshmallow icing. He said, let's clean you up. And he and Ginger stood in front of each of us and then brushed us off till our bathrobes and PJs and our slippers were as good as new, and they even took the bits of sugar out of our hair. It was so much fun. We asked if we could go on the sled again. And Ginger said, well, this time, would you each like your own sled? Oh, we thought that was a good idea. So Ginger took us to the side of the snow mound and gave us each a sled to pull up, and he pulled the sled up for the dog, because Dog was going to have his own sled. When we got to the top, we all got on our sleds. This time we were lying down, holding onto the handles. Dog was sitting up, so proudly just sitting there on top of his sled. And Ginger and Timothy gave us each a push to get us going, and we flew down that hill. See, miles we went, and miles. We just kept flying and steering back and forth. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. I could see my brother and sister sort of to the side, and Dog was on the other side of me, sitting up, and the wind was blowing in Dog's hair, and Dog looked so happy. At the end, of course, we crashed into the snowbank, got up and brushed ourselves off, laughing and giggling. We were having so much fun. Ginger called, come on, children, it's going to be time for you to go to the last place. Timothy and Ginger took us to the door, and we gave Ginger a big hug, and he gave us each another ginger snap that we promptly ate. Sleigh riding makes you really hungry. We waved goodbye, and the door closed with a tinkle of bells, and Timothy said, now we're going to the very special place, the last stop in your tour of the North Pole. And next time, I'll tell you where that is. Until then, everybody, sleep tight and dream of sugar plums.